We have another great week of eShop sales, and it's such a good time to be a Nintendo fan. Today's episode, we're going to spotlight 30 great eShop deals that you can find right now. Please share the video with someone you know that might like saving money as well. Hey everyone, I'm JP, and this is Good Talk HQ. If you're new here, please consider subscribing to become part of our growing family of game enthusiasts and deal seekers. It's free to you, and it means the world to us. Thanks so much for checking out the video. And if you've been here before, as always, I'd like to take a moment and thank you for continuing to support our channel. We can't do this without you. You're the heart of our channel, and you've made this journey exceptionally joyful. Thank you all. Before we jump into the list, please take a moment and check out the new banners that one of our friends and viewers, Zion Cool 100, created for our channel and the Indie Gaming Guild's channel. The banners are amazing, Zion. Thanks, my friend. You're truly fantastic. Thank you. Okay, and without any further ado, let's jump into today's list and try to find some deals. Alright, and we'll start off the list with 9 Monkeys of the Shaolin. This is a 3D action beat 'em up for 1 to 2 players, either local or an online co-op, with a story that will take roughly 7 or 8 hours to complete. We play as a Chinese fisherman with the mysterious ties to ancient martial arts. We set out to avenge our family and friends who were brutally killed in a pirate raid on our village. This game features great action-packed battles, friendly simple controls, and a truly immersive world. It also looks, sounds, and runs great on the Switch as well, so if you like a good beat 'em up, this is a pretty good option, and it's currently on sale until July 14th for just $5.99, marked down 80%. Alright, next up we have Crypt of the NecroDancer, the Nintendo Switch edition. This is a top-down RPG from Brace Yourself Games and offers local co-op for up to 2 players, with a story that could take longer than 20 or 30 hours to complete. This is at its core a puzzle-style dungeon crawler, but with a twist. Players have to move in rhythm with the beat as they navigate through the randomly generated dungeons, with plenty of nasty enemies along the way, including skeletons, zombies, and more. The retro pixel art graphics and of course the great soundtrack are top notch, but the game also has tons of replayability as well, offering collectors and completionists plenty of content to keep them satisfied. This game really is a masterpiece and always worth picking up, especially when on sale. And right now you'll be able to pick it up for 80% off, just $3.99 until July 28th. Next up we have Depth of Extinction Definitive Edition. This is a single player, tactical turn-based RPG similar to something like XCOM or Mario plus Rabbids. In this game, players will explore a world that is almost entirely underwater and overrun by machines. The graphics and sound are great on this title, and while it may not have the budget of something like Mario plus Rabbids, it's a great indie title and the game truly is fun to play. This mainly came down to the combat in the game, which was a highlight for me personally. There are upgrade mechanics and over 100 weapons to be found throughout the campaign, so if you like SRPGs, make sure to grab this one up before July 19th for just $6.59, marked down 56%. Next up we have Flashback. This is a classic adventure title from the 90s, reborn for a new generation on the Switch. The game offers roughly 6 hours of main story gameplay, but of course the main draw will be the nostalgia. This game is a classic and is constantly on people's top 100 list for as long as I can remember. Flashback features a great story, great controls and sound, and this version includes both the original 1993 edition as well as the newly remastered modern mode, which gives a slew of graphical and audio options to change the way people can experience this great game. By today's standards, it may seem a bit outdated, but if you grew up with these games or you're a fan of these older games, please check this one out before July 24th, marked down 85% to just $2.99. Alright, next up we have Morbid the 7 Acolytes. This is a single-player action RPG with an isometric view and stunning pixel art graphics, offering a main story that will last roughly 8 to 10 hours. This is a gruesome and disturbing Souls-like game featuring epic and brutal boss battles, diverse environments, and a deeply narrative-driven story. Players will find upgrades to gear, weapons, and skills along the way as we challenge the possessed 7 Acolytes with godlike powers in order to save the kingdom. This is definitely a mature game with mature themes, but if you're up to the challenge and you're into this type of game, grab it up before July 20th for just $12.49, marked down to half price. Alright, next up we have 9 Parchments. This is a cooperative style shoot 'em up RPG from the creators of the Trine series. The main story should take roughly 8 or 9 hours, with even more out there for completionists. We play as a group of runaway apprentice wizards, convinced they can complete their training on their own if they just find and collect the 9 Parchments. This is a beautiful game on the Switch, and it runs great too. There's loads of collectibles and upgrades to be found, spells to unlock and master, and just fun to be had with a group of friends or family members in general. The game offers local and online play for up to 4 players, so if you're interested in this one, make sure you grab it up before July 22nd. It's just $4.99, marked down 75%. Alright, next up we have Northgard. This is an RTS from Shiro Games that offers 40 plus hours of gameplay and even offers online play for up to 6 people at a time. Now this game is based on Norse mythology and sees us taking control of one of the last remaining members of one of the 6 clans you can choose from at the start. Your entire clan has been wiped out and you must start anew with the goal of seeking revenge on the rival clan that attacked you. From there, it plays similarly to many RTS games and sees players building their bases into larger bases and eventually moving in for the attack. The story was amazing and the multiplayer is top notch as well. If you like a good RTS game, this is probably a must buy for many of you out there, and right now it's on sale for just $13.99 until July 11th, marked down 60% to an all-time low. Next up, we have PolyRoll. This is a single-player side-scrolling platformer that clearly draws its inspiration from classic Sonic games from the Genesis era. The main campaign will last roughly 4 hours, and I promise you'll have a blast the entire time. I've loved this game. You have the same jumps, rolls, and dashes as the Blue Hedgehog, and many of the same mechanics are shared between the two games as well. The bright, colorful pixel art graphics and amazing retro soundtrack immediately sent me back to the 90s. This game is a bit easier and slower paced though than those older Sonic titles, but that didn't make any difference to me. I still had a blast with the game. Please consider getting this one before the sale ends on July 19th. Right now it's 70% off, just $2.99. Alright, next up we have Pumpkin Jack. This is a single player 3D action platformer that will take players roughly 6 or 7 hours to finish up. We play as the Pumpkin Lord himself, and we've been contracted by the devil to do his evil bidding. Now while the stages themselves are fairly linear, there are a few different level types to keep it fresh along the way. The game immediately reminded me of Medieval from the original PlayStation, which was another Halloween spooky based platformer. One really cool mechanic here were the areas where you would just use Jack's head to complete a puzzle and leave his body behind. The game was recommended to us by a viewer during one of our live streams, and it's been a great time thus far. Make sure to grab this one up before July 21st, marked down 40% to just $17.99, which is an all-time low. Alright, next up we have Redeemer Enhanced Edition. This is a single-player action fighter available for 1 or 2 players in local co-op, with a main story that would take players roughly 6 to 8 hours to complete. This is an intense top-down fighter with brutal close-quarter combat, a dodge and parry system requiring precision timing, and even a few unique finishing moves to dispatch of your enemies in glorious fashion. It's impressive how well it runs on the Switch, and even has a physics-based damage system where you can dismember your opponents and use their body parts as weapons. One thing to note is that the main story is just single player, while the other modes are designed with multiplayer action in mind. Right now Redeemer, the Enhanced Edition, is currently on sale until July 14th, marked down 80% to just $5.99. Alright, next up we have Shadows of Adam. This is a single-player Japanese RPG from Circle Entertainment and offers players more than 15 hours of gameplay. The story revolves around 2 main protagonists from a small town called Adam, which eventually grows to 4 as the game progresses. This game feels a lot like older games such as Final Fantasy VI or Chrono Trigger. One highlight though was the dialogue. It's extremely well written and some of the jokes were pretty funny too. The action is fast paced, the retro aesthetic looks great on the Switch, and the game features an amazing soundtrack that was composed specifically for the game and features over 40 unique tracks inspired by classic JRPGs from the 16-bit era. If you're looking for a solid retro style RPG, make sure to grab this one up before July 15th, on sale for just $7.49, marked down to half price. Alright, next up we have a fan favorite, Sword of the Necromancer. This is a single player retro RPG from publisher Grimorio of Games, offering a main story that would take around 8 hours to complete, with available local co-op for 1 or 2 players. This is a dungeon crawler with a top-down view, and the story revolves around a young heroine trying to restore the power to her magic sword in order to revive the person she loves the most. Our journey sees us setting off into dangerous dungeons full of enemies and bosses, and does admittedly have a bit of a Zelda vibe. However, there's one really unique feature. Since your sword does have some magic power left, you're able to revive enemies that you've defeated and have them join your party and fight alongside you. This was a great game. I would highly recommend it entirely if you're a fan of the style or era. The pixel art and retro sound are once again top notch as well. Make sure to grab this one up on sale before July 15th for just $10.49, marked down 30%. Alright, next up we have UnderHero. This is a single player 2D RPG platformer from Paper Castle Games and offers more than 10 hours of main story gameplay. We play as an evil underling who, due to an unfortunate event, must now step up to be the hero. The game features a beautiful cartoonish appearance with a great soundtrack. One highlight for us was the precision-based combat system, which rewards players for timing their moves and attacks correctly. The game is also filled with satire and humor throughout. So if you're looking for a solid 2D platformer with some deep RPG mechanics, Make sure to grab this one up before July 15th while marked down 40% to just $10.19. Alright, next up we have Urban Flow. This is a party-based arcade-type puzzle game for up to 4 players in local co-op. The game should take players roughly 7 or 8 hours to complete, with the latter part of this game getting kind of hectic, so it could take a little bit longer. But basically you control the flow of traffic in over 100 levels, each progressively harder than the last. There's something satisfying about watching this game in action. All the cars and lights moving in harmony really can be fun to watch. If you played Conduct Together or Fly Together, it's very similar to those titles. Make sure to control the flow of traffic and avoid accidents or mishaps. If you like these party-style puzzle games, make sure to check out Urban Flow while on sale until July 12th, marked down 87% to just $1.99. Alright, next up we have Vaporum. This is a single-player grid-based dungeon-crawling RPG in an original steampunk setting, inspired by old-school classics of the genre. Stranded in the middle of an ocean, the hero must find out what this place is, who he is, and what's happened here. As I said, this is grid-based and uses what they call tank controls, meaning you move square by square and rotate in 90-degree increments to turn. This mechanic was used a lot in old school gaming and does add a level of strategy to the gameplay. At the beginning of the game, you'll be given the option of 3 different mech suits to wear. They all play a bit differently, and they'll be how you'll upgrade your character throughout the game. Now, the game looks great on the Switch with one major flaw. The text in handheld mode is way too small, but outside of that, no complaints with how it looked or ran. Be warned, this is a tough game though, but if you're up to the challenge, it's currently on sale until July 20th for just $9.99, marked down 60%. Alright, next up we have Resident Evil Revelations. This is a single-player survival horror game, one of many in the series from Capcom, and will take players roughly 10 to 15 hours to complete. Now this was originally a 3DS exclusive, but over the years it's been upgraded and ported to the Switch along with the sequel. This one takes place between the events of 4 and 6, and is set on a cruise ship stranded at sea, and revolves around series favorites Jill Valentine and Chris Redfield. The gameplay is more like 4, 5, and 6 with a 3D over-the-shoulder point of view, made popular in Resident Evil 4, and the story does explain a bit of how these viruses keep spreading with the Umbrella Corp out of commission. For me, these are must-own titles on the Switch, as having these amazing games on the go and both together is great. If you're a fan of the series and haven't played these yet, both 1 and 2 are on sale right now until July 22nd, marked down 60% for just $7.99 and matching their all-time lows. Alright folks, and here are some series sales that are going on right now. Be sure to check them out. Alright, and here's a look at some games that are still on sale that have carried over from the previous episode. And again, please, before you go, check out Zion Cool 100. Thank you, buddy. These banners are great. Awesome work, dude. Alright, folks, if you made it this far, let me again, as always, say thank you for giving us a few minutes of your busy days. We truly appreciate it. And if you haven't joined our community, please consider doing so, as we'll bring you some great Nintendo deals and content each week, and we sweeten the pot by offering 2 free eShop gift cards to our subscribers. All you have to do to enter is make sure to be subbed to the channel, hit the like button, and leave us a comment on any of the eShop sales videos throughout the week so I can find your name and put you on the list. Either way though, thank you for watching, and we hope to welcome you to the family soon. Please, everyone, stay safe, and hopefully we helped you find some great deals. Have a great rest of your day, great rest of your week, and will that little man take us on home.
That's all for today's list. We hope you liked the video. If you did, consider subscribing and liking down below. Okay, bye!